I'm not actually that surprised that he struggled to really fire in the first few months. What is the problem with Spurs?
Who's in more trouble, United or Arsenal? You guys answer that, but don't have a go at me for bashing. That and more coming up. Again, as myself and Paddy are here to answer all of your questions for the Q&A. First up is me.
Sure.
Svi Gomez actually sent one in. Are Bayern going to be Champions League contenders, considering their performance against Spurs?
I mean, they were already.
What performance?
Yeah, what performance? The thing that Matt doesn't talk about, which is incidental because we've got some great questions coming up later.
Yeah.
But absolutely, Bayern were contenders beforehand. If you have a look at how Barcelona and Real Madrid are struggling, you know, Juventus, Liverpool, City are the other ones that you would say as contenders, but absolutely, Bayern were at the start of the season, let alone now after that smashing of a certain team from North London. I
will say that loads of you did write in asking how I'm feeling, and I feel like we're just going to cover it in the next few questions.
We will, and let's move on to the next one from Antonio. Is Kimmich the most underrated player?
The most underrated player is quite broad.
Yes.
An underrated player? I think... Yeah, unfortunately, we live in a world where everyone who doesn't score or assist is going to be slightly underrated.
He's doing that these days.
Yeah, even doing that, I'm talking about regularly. But his general all-round defensive work is unbelievable.
I mean, he's a fantastic player. You know, there's a lot of similarities between him and Philipp Lahm's career already. You know, both spent time at Stuttgart, both can play in multiple positions, probably the best position being defensive midfield. But
unbelievable.
Even went it right back among the best of their positions in the world. So Kimmich, I mean, I think anyone who knows football knows he's not underrated.
Yeah, he's like the all-round footballer. There's just nothing he can't do.
Fantastic, yeah, fantastic.
Oh, you again.
Me again. And the question of the day from Amit Ben Yosef. Please keep this to a reasonable amount of time. Okay. What is the problem with Spurs?
What, a reasonable time?
Yeah, reasonable time.
Okay, what is the problem with Spurs? There's just... On parts of me thinks that there's lots going wrong, and other parts think maybe not so much. Maybe it's just a dip in form.
A phase.
You know, and all the players said it. You completely switched off after the 5th goal. Conceding 3 at the end is you know, stupid. It's unprofessional. The game was gone by that point anyway, the 85th minute. But if Spurs put in a solid few performances, or even the next one coming up, before the international break, did things not look as bad? I think one of the main problems, definitely from within the squad, is the future of the players. Vertonghen, Eriksen, and Alderweireld, are they signing?
Yeah.
Are they leaving on a free next summer? Are they going in January? There's players there who want to know that everyone else is in on it. Do you know what I mean?
But it's also, I think it's a bit of a question about how important these players still are for Spurs, because I mean, you looked at Sancho starting the season as sort of among the first choice pairing, and then he obviously got injured. They have to bring Vertonghen back. Where's Dele Alli at the moment with his football, given that Eriksen has been very hot and cold, but Ali has failed to fill his gap as well. So there's some questions in the squad, both now and in the future.
But the problem is, I don't care either way. You just want it sorted.
Sure.
If they all came out and said we're leaving at the end of the season, everyone can say, right, the board can plan for the signings, Pochettino can look at potential signings, and the likes of Kane and Ali, who are committed for a longer time, can either say, great, I want to leave with them, or I'm going to stick around and see what the new crop has to offer. That's fine. It's just uncertainty is completely what kills it.
Let's leave it there, because you could go all day.
I thought that was a good time.
It was a good time. It was a good time.
We'll move on. We'll move on to Anurag Saikia, who said, what the hell is happening with Christian Pulisic? He was termed as Hazard's successor, but now he's finding it difficult to even play a match. Please answer from a true Chelsea fan.
Well, for a true Chelsea fan, I think there's a few problems, and it was happening before he got to Chelsea, Pulisic. I mean, he had gone through a year and a half of fairly average football with Dortmund. He had moments where he'd obviously shone, but he wasn't a first, you know, he wasn't a starter for that Dortmund side. Sancho was getting the game time, a couple of other guys who were rotating with Pulisic to sort of see who would get that other start. So he hasn't been playing a consistently good football for some time. And I think add that into the fact he's in a new league, a league that's got a lot of pressure on it for him, who's coming in as a £50 million signing. It's going to take him some time to find his feet. Give him the time and the games, and he can still succeed at Chelsea, no doubt. But I think I'm not actually that surprised that he struggled to really fire in the first few months.
I think also praise Mason Mount and Hudson-Odoi as well, the fact they're so good. My one question over this is that he was signed 6 months before Lampard joined. What if Sarri was like, this guy's the guy, and then Lampard comes in and he's like, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, you mentioned 2 players that are potentially ahead of him, or at least competing with him. You've also got Willian and Pedro there as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of options there there are a lot of options there for Chelsea, either wide or in attacking central positions. So that's what Pulisic is up against at the moment.
Yeah. So, very quick reminder as well from myself and Paddy to smash the subscribe button, because that counts as a shot on target.
Yeah, unlike Man United.
Unlike Manchester United last night. That wasn't bashing. It was factual.
It was fairly bashable, to be honest.
I think we're going to get onto it in a minute.
It was sneaky.
But hit the subscribe button anyway.
Sneaky. Okay, from Ash Adams, based on the performance against RB Salzburg, do you think Liverpool still has what it takes to win the Champions League? Great videos, by the way. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Ash.
Yes, they do have what it takes to win the Champions League,
100%.
for sure, still. There was a little bit of a worry. Like, you know, being a little bit, much like Spurs, a little bit unprofessional and letting a team back into it at 3-3. I will say that's very unlike Liverpool.
Yep.
Like, that was more of a blip than a sort of sign of worry.
Agreed, and if you're going to have a blip, then this is the stage of the tournament to have that. Plenty of time to recover and still get through, so I don't see big problems long term.
They can get beaten throughout a whole game, but even then, it's very unlikely.
Yep.
Right, next up from Genghis Khan. Wow, he has a YouTube channel. It's a quick fire. Matip or Gomez?
Oh, great question. I would take Matip at the moment.
Yeah, me too.
Gomez, great player though.
Fabinho or Fernandinho?
If they're both in centre mid, I would probably just take Fernandinho. Ooh. But at the moment, Fabinho, I would say.
Trent Alexander-Arnold or Kimmich?
Easily Kimmich.
Yeah. Sterling or Salah?
Whoa, I think I said we've had this one before and it never gets any easier, actually.
No, never.
I would probably still take Salah. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm just on the edge of Sterling.
Yeah, I could easily go
I think he does more.
Yeah.
Anyway. Haaland or Odegaard?
I would still take Odegaard. Yep.
Yeah.
Doing very, very well on loan again, but showing that he's maybe got what it takes to actually
He just needed some years.
Yeah.
As for Haaland,
give him some time.
2 or 3 months.
He's a big man-child at the moment, and we'll have to see what happens with that.
He really is a man-child, isn't he?
Yeah.
Good Lord. All right, next up to you.
Oh, that's it.
That was it.
Okay, still challenging from Keenan Henry. Keenan Henry, if he's French, is defending in football dead. All the top teams are struggling with it, even Atleti at times. Is defending dead? This is actually something that I often think about, because I don't think defending is dead. I think the rules maybe stop harsher defending. You watch some old tapes of like proper old school defenders who tackle like crazy. I just think attackers are better. I just think in terms of training, in terms of also human evolution, without sounding like going into that field too much, players these days have it all. It's not necessarily you're a quick player or you're a good finisher. Some strikers have got everything. Some forwards are complete and utter athletes that even if the defenders think they've got them one way, they can do a multitude of other things. But also adding to the fact that defence is more than it has been ever in the history of the game, a form of attack. Yeah, and you look at the way that wing-backs are used in a different way than when wing-backs were used back there. Even the way that central defenders are expected to pass, to work the ball out, not just to hoof it long and get it out of the area. Do you think some defensive capabilities are being sacrificed to teach attacking abilities instead? I mean, I think coaches are really like, we would rather score more than the opponent than keep them out. Yeah, unless you're Mourinho, of course. And that's of course. The opposite, also, the thing is with defenders is that you've still got to be quite a big guy to be a defender in most cases. Whereas now, I just think if I was a defender, some of the forwards that you come up against can do you every which way. 100%. And we're talking like a front three here. Which rotate around. Instead of man marking one player, you've got three that then, depending on what time of the game it is, you're facing a different opponent every time. Like with Liverpool, I think, do you face up Mane who'll dribble past you? Do you leave Salah the room to run into, or do you drop deep with Firmino? And they all move. I feel sorry for defenders. He says being a defender / midfielder himself.
Great question though, by the way. Yep. Super interesting. Next up from Ultimate Joey, how do you feel about Emmanuel Dennis celebrating like Ronaldo in front of the Real Madrid fans?
No problems with that.
Yeah, no, not at all.
You know, we often criticise players for not having enough personality, and aside from their, you know, sometimes ridiculous Instagram accounts, it's good to see some personality on the pitch. Why not? I don't think the Real Madrid fans care too much about it.
Yeah.
In the end, they got a point out of it. But for a young kid playing against Real Madrid, he might never do that again.
Yeah.
Good on him. Yeah.
I think that if we grew up in this generation, we'd idolise Ronaldo and probably celebrate like him as well.
100%.
It's probably more respect than an insult.
Potentially, yeah. Tell the Real Madrid fans that. Okay, from Taya Kamshur, after an incredible performance from Ajax against Valencia, where do you think they will stand in this year's Champions League?
Incredible definitely is the word.
Yeah.
And considering everyone talked about them losing Jong and Ligt,
yeah.
Two massive players in the summer, it looks like it hasn't changed them at all.
Well, I mean, even the first couple of games of the season too, it was like, ooh, a bit rusty, you know, they had to go through qualification. That wasn't easy, by the way. But now they've got to the group stage, damn, they're doing it again.
I feel like the same old attacking threat is there.
Yeah.
Tadic is still doing his thing.
Yeah.
Ziyech as well.
Exactly, got Van Beek as well.
Van Beek. It's going to sound stupid when I say I don't see what they've lost by selling De Ligt and De Jong.
They've lost a lot.
Yeah, it sounds stupid, but I think until they're tested in a way which De Jong and De Ligt would have helped them on a serious level, then they'll be found out that they've got players who aren't as good as those two, which is, you know, understandable because they're brilliant. Right, next up, YARIEL HERNANDEZ. Why when big teams lose to small teams do people always say that the big teams did horrible? Why can't people just say that the small teams did well, like Man City against Norwich?
I mean, it's a fair enough point to make. I mean, in these, and these are rare cases when this actually happens to a team like City, where they've just taken their eye off the ball for an afternoon. Norwich have been completely organised and know exactly what they're going to expect from City, and they've just outmanoeuvred them for 90 minutes only. And I think there's some credit due to the team that's done that, but also, you know, it's fair enough to say that the bigger team has been unable to obviously to set their game out in a normal way, and that's allowed the place for the smaller team to actually work through.
I think the reason why as well is because it's a massive shock when City don't do what City do.
Yeah.
Because if they did, no matter how well Norwich played, they still would have beaten them.
Yep.
So that's why it's a bit more of a shock than Norwich sort of doing well, taking their chances.
Those are the headlines. No one ever, you know, what's going to sell papers? City shock or well done Norwich?
Yeah. This is true.
And so that's
wise words.
That is the world that we live in. From Dennis Mason, quickfire on which team is in more trouble. Let's start with the most important one of the quickfire: Manchester United or Arsenal?
United. Come on now. Who's in more trouble, United or Arsenal? You guys answer that, but don't have a go at me for bashing.
Yeah, Barcelona or Real Madrid, you United bashing.
Ooh. That's a tough one. I still think Real because they've got a lot of old players who need to leave.
I disagree with that, but but it's your Q&A, not mine. Dortmund or Lyon?
The problem with Lyon is I don't think they'll have the success to keep their best players. And we've seen it with Ferland Mendy leaving, with Ndombele leaving. As soon as Lyon do well, players leave. But with Dortmund, you're going to be challenging for the league. You're going to be challenging maybe for the higher ends of the Champions League. Lyon are one step below, and I can't see them. Certainly that legendary team of the noughties. They can't hold on to players anymore.
And Wolves or Fiorentina?
Wolves. Oh, word. Wolves are in a bit of a pickle.
Yeah.
Fiorentina was shocking last season, so it can't get much worse. But Wolves were great, and I mean, they won.
Yeah.
But
that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. Next up, KIRAN PRAKASH Harry has said, when will Ousmane Dembele reach his full potential? I've been asking this for months. I'm sure a lot of Barca fans have as well.
Probably almost since the first moment he joined. Yeah. I mean, he's obviously been out with injury. I mean, he did at times, when he did play a bit of football last season for Barcelona, it looked like that potential was coming to fruition. There will be opportunities for Dembele at Barcelona if he stays. There is no doubt. But I think his head is one issue, and his attitude, and his body is the next. And if those two things don't fall into line, we will not see the best of Dembele at Barcelona. He needs freedom, confidence, and game time, and he doesn't have any of that at the moment.
Do you think he's going to be kept because it would look foolish to get rid of someone who costs so much at
I
such a
think
young age.
they would probably only really let him go if they saw him as a make weight in any deal for Neymar. I honestly believe that.
Yeah,
I think they
true.
will give him time and space to develop and get his body right and his mind right. But if he can help get Neymar back to Camp Nou, then I think we'll see him go.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
From Dave77NM, would you rather, two questions, would you rather watch a game between prime Real Madrid versus prime Bayern, or prime Bayern versus prime Barca?
Ooh.
I guess we're talking about prime in the last 10, 15 years. Yeah.
But that prime Bayern Barca, didn't they win 7-0 in the Champions League like 2013 when Bayern won it? They won 4-0 at home and 3-0 away.
But then prime Real Madrid also
slapped
Bayern over two legs as well. So
oh my God.
Yeah, tough one.
I'd love to watch both of them. I think I have watched both of them.
Yeah,
They
well,
both
there you go.
happened.
Which one did you enjoy more?
Yeah, I'm going to say Real Madrid Bayern.
Yeah, it was a great double
Yeah.
leg. Just the tactics were incredible.
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay, number 2, play in a match with Messi and train with Ronaldo, or play in a match with Ronaldo and train with Messi?
I actually think that one's a little bit easier. I'd play with Messi or train with Ronaldo.
I think we all would, yeah.
To see Ronaldo's work ethic and training would be great.
Correct, and then not get screamed at in the match.
And not get screamed at for not passing the ball. But with Messi, I've heard that Messi is a good trainer, but nothing sort of out of the ordinary.
Sure, yeah.
He'll come in and do the bits, very much a team player. Yeah. But then in the game, you're on Messi's team, so.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
That's another great question. Right, to finish the show from Tiago, this was interesting. This was a flurry of questions.
Okay.
So firstly, do you know what a quiche is?
Yeah, of course.
If not, ask Nico.
I know what a quiche is.
I don't know why Nico's quiche master all of a sudden.
The quiche man, yeah.
I just want to bring out how much I love quiche. Quiche Lorraine is the best. What's your opinion?
I'm a massive quiche fan, actually. I don't know is it Tiago? Yeah. We haven't met, but Tiago, we already have something in common.
Yeah.
That being said, quiche Lorraine, not my favourite. I think for a good quiche, you don't need meat. You can make a fantastic quiche.
Wait, is quiche Lorraine with meat?
Yeah, it's got little bits of bacon in it.
Wait, hold on, so let me get this straight, because I'm not sure. Quiche is like an egg dish in a pastry, sort of?
Sort of, yeah. It's the simple
Is it like an omelette in a pastry?
Yeah, you're really showing your ignorance here, but yes, that is roughly what it is, yeah.
Okay, well let us know your favourite quiche, because...
You need to obviously get quiche. We need to take
I don't eat eggs, that's the problem.
What do you mean you don't eat eggs?
Eggs don't really sit right with me. Maybe
because you haven't had it in a quiche.
Maybe. My lack of quiche knowledge is showing here. So
get your laughing gear around some quiche for those out there who don't know what it is. It's great stuff.
Quiche Lorraine.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Anyway, thank you for all of your amazing questions. As always, the YouTube community tab on a Wednesday night is where you can leave your questions for the following Friday's Q&A. But from myself and Paddy, so also have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys next time.